Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Today we are going to be talking about makeup brands I don't support part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1, definitely check that out. As usual, I'm gonna do my disclaimer. These brands are not your friends, they don't know you. So before you start, getting angry in the comments, just hear me out. This is just my personal opinions based on literal fact. None of this stuff is like me making things up. It's all searchable, Googleable. Yeah, that's pretty much that. So today's video is probably going to be a little bit shorter. I only have 6 brands, and then I think that's pretty much everything, unless another brand ends up doing something sus. Then they'll probably end up in the part 3, but as of right now, I think part 2 is like every brand that I don't support. All right, so anyway, let's get right into it. Brand number 1 is Painted by James Charles. If you don't know about James Charles, basically he got in a lot of trouble for talking to underage boys, like multiple times on like Tinder and Instagram DMs, and basically like using his followers, his Instagram followers, as like his dating pool, which everyone was like, please don't do that, that's so weird. And a couple of those boys were underage. It was not cute. So for that reason, I cannot support anything James Charles related, because like, you can't do that, man. That's gross. I'm so sorry. Plus, I mean, for those who were on YouTube at that time, you guys know about the whole Dramageddon thing, which is all insane when you like look back on it. But for those who don't know, like James Charles and 2 other like YouTubers, Tati Westbrook and Jeffree Star, got into this whole big drama. It was so wild, and James Charles was involved, and a lot of his tea got spilled, other people's tea got spilled. It was just really crazy. And honestly, I'm over the super controversial like YouTuber archetype, like, or I guess brand owner. And it's just like, why can't y'all be normal? Like, I don't want to support people who are like actively being problematic or like have really bad, like, like, why do you have such a bad track record, babes? Like, just do the silly little fucking makeup. Like, it doesn't have to be all this. But yes, so that is why I will not be supporting Painted by James Charles. Next, we have P. Louise, which I have felt this way for literally ever since her scandal happened. And it's so wild because I see people like using her like stuff, and I'm like, so have we all just decided to ignore it, or like do people just genuinely not know? Because in my mind, I thought like everyone knew this stuff, but I guess that's like unrealistic to think. But anyway, basically P. Louise, the like, I don't know what, I'm gonna put her name, like, or the brand owner of P. Louise, was at a Drake concert and recorded herself singing the N-word, which obviously is not okay, because I mean, at this point, I shouldn't even have to say why it's not okay. Like, I shouldn't even have to be like, saying the N-word is bad if you are not black. Like, bitch, we all know that. Like, girl, if you're in 2020, well, I know this didn't happen in 2024, but like in this day and age, I shouldn't have to explain why a non-black person shouldn't be able to say the N-word, And yeah, so that's just that. And then her reasoning, basically she put out a tweet and was like, basically, I have black friends and my boyfriend's black and all this shit. And we were like, girl, you're really gonna be one of those? Like, okay, whatever. So that was obviously very off-putting. And that was enough for me to not support, because y'all know me. Any drop of racism, it could be one single thing and I'm done. Because in this day and age, like, babes, I can't be tolerating any form of racism. It doesn't even matter how small or big, like, true, well, obviously big, but like, it doesn't even matter how small. Like, no, babes. So then after that, she released a canceled collection of like makeup, which obviously people thought that was extremely out of touch and like just very distasteful, and just like, you're basically saying like, I don't know. Celebrities have done it all the time. People have taken the word canceled and like completely ruined it of its meaning, and just like the whole phrase cancel culture, it's just like, And the thing is, for me, I'm not anti-cancel culture. I hate calling it that, mind you. I don't call it that. I just feel like people are allowed to hold celebrities and shit accountable, and like brands. Like, you're making all this money off your consumers, then the consumer should be allowed to like criticize if you do something bad. So I don't call it canceling. I call it, you know, rightfully like holding someone accountable. Now, do some people take it too far and be sending death threats and shit? Of course they do. And that's just that side of the internet. It's bad. Like, honestly, the internet is so far gone now. But anyway, I say all that to say, yeah, she released a canceled collection right after her scandal with saying the N-word. And so, yeah. So, moral of the story, P. Louise, that's a chop. James Charles, that's a chop. Moving on. Next, we have Kat Von D, or KVD Beauty, KVD Vegan Beauty, whatever the hell it's called now. I know that Kat, the original CEO and like founder, is not, she sold off the company or whatever. I'll explain. Well, my original reasons for not wanting to purchase from her before she sold off her brand was basically, one, she used to be like besties with Jeffree Star, and if you watch my last video, you know his brand is in there, because he's like really super racist, like actually it's super villain like vibes. So they used to be besties, which is red flag number one. She had really weird names for some of her lipstick shades, and then when people got mad at her, she was like, it's not that deep, it's just a lipstick. And everyone was like, well, if it's just a lipstick, then change the name. Like, some of the names were like Underage Red, and I think there was a name called Lolita, which, I mean, come on, like, really. And then there was a picture where she held one of her lipsticks up in front of a cotton field or something, like cotton, and was like basically saying something about hard, like it's gonna work hard for you or something. It was to
it. So they had a concealer. I think it was called, like, what did I write it down? The Lock-It concealer, something lock or something. It will stay on for ages concealer, whatever. So they took this concealer, and for a post on Instagram or something, they held it in front of a cotton field, right? Hold it there and said, let it do all the hard work for you. Obviously, people were very upset about this. Why are you holding a product up to a cotton field, a field of cotton, and then talking about hard work? That's just a sneak peek. This is just a sneak peek into what's coming up, right? Let's take a look at the lipstick names. First, let's start with this one. Underage Red. Like, underage, like, what? Why? Why would you call it that? I can't understand. Someone help me understand. Another shade was Selection. The word selection spelt with a K. And this is a German word that can be traced back to when Nazis used to decide in concentration camps. They'll line up and they'll point either way. Either you're going to be killed or you're going to go to work and do labor and be a slave. There was also a shade called Celebutard, which is a mix of the word celebrity and also an ableist slur. But of course, Kat was like, oh, guys, at the end of the day, it's just a lipstick. Okay, so if it's just lipstick, just change the name. I mean, it's that simple and that's easy. Lolita as well, which is a book, a film, a movie where the author, is it the author? I actually can't remember if it's the author of the book or there's a writer in it who falls in love with an underage girl. So you can see there's a lot of like connections when it comes to Kat Von D and calling lipsticks like really controversial names to get a reaction. This is why
I was like, girl, so already off rip, you're weird, you're sus, that's so weird. So that was already a no. And then she came out and said that basically she's anti-vax and that she's not going to vaccinate her son because she just had a newborn son, and it was like, I'm not going to, I don't remember her exact reasons. I'll try to put it on the screen if I can find it. But basically she's anti-vax, which obviously, and look, I know there's a lot more anti-vaccination people out there than I would like to believe. And I even have some in my own damn family, okay? But I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I do not agree with that. I personally am gonna, if I ever have a kid, okay? Which I'm not really, it's not giving yes, but maybe one day in the far future, if I have a kid, they're getting vaccinated. What? Like, the way measles is coming back and chicken pox and all that, like, do you really whatever, I'm not even gonna, but yeah, I personally don't agree with that. I think that vaccinations are necessary and that you should vaccinate your newborn son. But hey, that is just me. I guess I'm just being crazy. And then the reason why I'm like not really trying to buy from the brand now, even though she sold her company, is mainly because the products that they have put out, I know they had the Good Apple Foundation, which at first I thought was doing well, and then I was like researching about it, and it actually doesn't have many good reviews other than like the influencers who were like, you know, promoting it on their pages or whatever. So the Good Apple Foundation, meh. I heard the concealer was like decent, but it's like there's so many good concealers out there already. And then also just like the last thing about it, which isn't even like, I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad, I guess. But the brand is working with this one really, really problematic influencer. Her name's Michaela. I forget her last name, but I'll put her up on the screen. But basically, she's like super problematic. She does a lot of like, what is it called? Like undisclosed ads and lies about product, like how it performs just to get sales, because she works off of commission sometimes. And they're doing like a collab, and everyone's like, why? Like, you could have chose literally anyone else, and you're choosing someone who's like super problematic. Obviously, that's sus. And yeah, so that's a little no, and it's not giving. So unfortunately, I don't think I will be purchasing anything from like the brand, just because I'm not that interested. And honestly, there's just so many good things out there. That's the thing about the makeup industry now, is that there's so many options, like way more than before. So you can find a cheaper and like better product that's not that. So, you know. But anyway, moving on to Rem Beauty by Ariana Grande. And I know a lot of people probably aren't gonna agree with me, which that's fine. I don't really care. But basically, there's two reasons, one real reason and one petty reason. So my real reason is because, one, I don't think I've ever really expressed this on my YouTube channel, but I am actually I don't really like Ariana Grande as a person, unfortunately, and I find some of her behavior to be a little sus, and her little like, she loves to adopt this little black scent thing. Like, I swear.
Hair, when was that? I'm like, bitch, that's my cookie. That's my juice, okay?
Y'all, I swear, y'all, it's just weird. Like, she be getting them weird tans. I know she doesn't really, she's, you know, rebranded once again, and she's not, you know, trying to be someone she's not now. But before, she definitely would like be having these weird little black scents, getting these kind of dark tans. One time, I remember like one of her eras, she was looking like Japanese. I don't even know, Korean. Like she like did, I don't know. It was like super weird. Literally kind of the definition of Asian fishing. I can't even lie. Like, people were on Twitter calling her Arigato Grande. Like, I can't. I'm sorry, you can't tell me people don't know what they're doing these days. Like, there's too much information on the internet now these days for people to not know the implications of what they're doing. And then my other reasoning, the petty reason. So I worked at Ulta when this brand launched, and it was she actually lived pretty close to this Ulta, so we had like kind of they shot some promo thing at our Ulta, right? And I know this like isn't her or whatever, but her team were so freaking rude to everyone. They were so just like disrespectful and rude. Mind you, we're sitting here at like 2 o'clock in the morning putting up her like little pews or whatever, her little aisles, and her team's just standing around, looking around, not helping, ordering everyone around. And I know this is petty. This is why I called it my petty reason. But I didn't like that shit. The fuck? And then, mind you, okay, and this is petty, okay? But when Fenty launched, okay, Rihanna went to some of the Sephora's and Ulta's to like, you know, like thank the people who are selling her, literally pushing her product. Like, when you work at Ulta and Sephora, like, you have to push certain things, and Fenty, you always have to push it. So it's like, bitch, we're out here on the front lines pushing your product. Yeah, you should come take a selfie with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. And yeah, so basically Ariana, she did not do that. She wasn't trying to meet none of us. She wasn't trying to thank none of us. She wasn't even trying to like do a fake like, oh my god, thank you so much for blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so excited for this brand. No, she didn't give a damn. We didn't get any gratis. We didn't get shit, bro. Like, she did not give a damn. She said, set my shit up and get the fuck out. Because mind you, when she recorded her commercial, we couldn't even be in there. Like, she was literally being like, no one around me. Like, I was like, oh, so you're bougie like that. At least fucking Rihanna could come and have some decency to like thank the people who like have to like basically do the work, basically. Like, but anyway, that's not even that big of a like thing, but I personally was annoyed by it slightly, just because like and you know, all the other weird like sus shit that she does, the black scent and whatnot. But yeah, so that's Rem. And also the products, they're not even bad. It's just like, who the fuck is buying Rem? Like, honestly, who's buying Rem? Like, I don't know. But anyway, that's that. Moving on. Next, we have Ofra Cosmetics. So for those who don't know, Ofra was really big like a couple years ago on YouTube, and they had a lot of like YouTubers and influencers sponsoring, like, you know, doing sponsorships and affiliate marketing, you know, stuff like that. So they were really known. And I've never bought anything from this brand, but I almost wanted to once. But basically the CEO or whatever, vice president, I don't know, he up there, but basically he posted a picture of himself on Instagram with a Trump hat on, and he was making what do you call it, like, he was making I'm not gonna do it. He was making a symbol with his hand that basically means like white power or like pro-Nazi or some fucking weird shit. Apparently he also donated to Trump's campaign. So that's automatically a no, because it's like, whoa. Not the like neo-Nazi hand signals and white power hand signals and like literally being like, the money you use to buy my shit, I'm gonna support Trump with it. Like, no, babes, that's a no, that's a chop. Next, we have Glossier, which probably another controversial one, but truthfully, it is what it is. I gotta speak my truth, okay? But basically, Glossier, in my research, I found they had really bad workplace environments for their, of course, people of color, like employees. So like Black, Asian, Latinx employees were being like, a lot of racist shit's going on. And then the CEO of Glossier was basically like, nah, you're fine. And obviously I'm summarizing. Please, this is all, you can search this. You can Google this, search, if you don't believe me, search Glossier controversy. It'll all come up. Basically, people who worked for Glossier were saying that like it was a really racist environment, and that the CEO and HR never did anything to like help correct the situation, which, I mean, are we surprised? And which for me, it's like, girl, no, like that's not cute. I know some people are gonna be like, well, that's the, no, babes. If you're out here treating Black people and other people like shit, I can't give you my money. I'm so sorry. Also, her shade ranges are pretty mid usually. Like, I mean, like they're not great. So you can find no makeup brands now these days anyway. So it's not even like you're the only one now. So yeah, Glossier is sus. The CEO is sus. I don't know if she stepped down or if like she's still doing her thing, but I just know I cannot be purchasing from racist people, you know, like it just is what it is. Last, we have Revolution, who I'm pretty sure used to be called Makeup Revolution, but I could be wrong. But yeah, Revolution, the reason they are on this list is because two main reasons. One, they have been caught stealing from indie brands, like literally just ripping off their designs and stuff, like literally stealing it and just making it with the same name, same packaging, like everything. And because their whole thing is like making dupes, and which is fine, but only dupe expensive brands, you know, like no one cares if you like dupe Chanel or like Hourglass or whatever. But it's like the small indie brands, they can't afford to have their stuff stolen, like truthfully. And if you're gonna like dupe something, you know, you gotta kind of disguise it a bit. But yeah, they have stolen from indie brands multiple times and have been caught too, like literally caught in a lie. And then one of the brand owners, there's one or two, but someone up there, either CEO, vice president, something like that, he liked, there was a post on Instagram about one of their products. Someone commented basically not having a good opinion on it. Someone else commented back at them and said, like, go back to Africa or something crazy. And one of the brand owners or the brand page liked the comment of the person saying go back to Africa. So obviously you're sus and you agree with shit like that. So for that alone, I mean, come on, like that's not okay. On the brand account is crazy. So yeah, you deserve that. And yeah, so now people basically don't really like to buy from Revolution. I've found out when I was, you know, researching. But yeah, so Revolution, she's a little sus for sure. So yeah, keep your eye out for any of that stuff. And that was the last brand of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.